That video was tweeted out last night by GOP House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. He captioned it, "Hey, Nancy Pelosi, our freshman class is bigger than yours." Although we should point out that he made a very offensive error in that post by saying that they are freshmen. Now, according to the Democrats, the new House rules, gender-specific terms are now prohibited in the House of Representatives. I'm not kidding. So I guess he should have said fresh people. So let's bring in our next guest, the newly sworn fresh person in the 117th Congress from Texas, Congresswoman, I said it again, so I'm so sorry, Beth Van Duyne. Congressperson Van Duyne, welcome back to the show.
How are you doing, Sean? I think you just completely captured the focus of Democrats this last 2 days. You know, how important are those issues we're talking about, right? I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt. And I
Beth, excuse me, ma'am. No, I'm sorry, person. You cannot use those offensive terms on this show. You can't. You are a sibling, a person. I'm still not up to speed on what you're allowed to say. But all those terms, sister, not allowed anymore. Mother, not allowed anymore. But go on, person.
Yeah, but I mean, is that really what we should be talking about now? Is that really what is the focus and the priority of American people right now? Is making sure that we're not saying daughter on the floor of the House and in our House rules? It's ridiculous. It's beyond sensical.
You know, and the funny part about it, I was going to say, I know how hard you worked. You've been a mayor. Now, that's not gender specific. That's okay. But you've been a small business owner. You've worked really hard. You served in the Trump administration. You've done all of these things to get you where you are. And you get elected to Congress, a hard-fought race. And then this is what is right off the bat. It just seems senseless to me.
You know, I really expected to be able to come and at least the first couple of days to have a sense of decorum and priorities, to be able to work across the aisle and be able to have a conversation, a debate about what's important. Can we talk about health care, since that's all the Democrats kind of pointed their fingers at this entire last campaign? Can we talk about transportation, a bill that we promised the American people that we would pass over the last 2 years, that would be jobs at a time when we need it the most? Can we talk about election issues? Can we talk about jobs and opening up the economy? No, we're going to talk about gender-specific terms like mother and daughter and brother.
Yeah, it's so silly. And, you know, the interesting thing is the hypocrisy in it as well. I just got to pull this up for you, because when you look at somebody like Nancy Pelosi on her Twitter bio, she has a few offenses on here. It says that she is a mother, a grandmother. You know, it makes me wonder, is Madam Speaker a good term or a bad term? You know, but you tweeted about this. You actually challenged some of this, said that you were going to challenge some of this on the floor. What came of that?
I did. I challenged it. You know, the Democrats are in power right now. They're the majority and they have the votes. But I mean, it was odd that one of my Democrat colleagues actually stood up and said, as a female member of Congress, I don't want to use these terms. You just did. And again, you know, we have a lot bigger issues for the people. And why are we not talking about this? We wasted an entire afternoon discussing something that I think it's not going to make a difference to any American now. We're just wasting time when we really don't have it.
You know, the thing that I thought was also a waste of time was how the closing prayer was.
Many names by many different faiths. A man and a woman.
Where you had Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver end the prayer by saying amen and a woman. As a woman, does that make you feel more included? Because amen is not a gender-specific term. So apparently we're no longer one nation under God either, because he said under a monolithic God. I mean, or under a non-myth. I couldn't even remember what it was. But to your point, this is how you guys started this term, talking about many gods and not amen, but a woman too. It was sort of like, if this is really told you what the Democrats' priorities were.
Well, and that's what I've said. Is that where are our priorities? I mean, the fact that we don't seem to understand Latin and understand that amen is not referencing a man or a woman. Are we going to start calling them, you know, instead of a menu, a woman-you? I mean, at what point does it stop? It's silly, it's ridiculous, and we need to get down to work. It's been interesting the last 2 days. Yesterday we had a vote on Speaker, and I proudly cast my my vote for Speaker for Leader Kevin McCarthy. The razor thin margins that Nancy Pelosi won was tight, but what she had to do to even get those votes in. I mean, as a Republican member of Congress, if you've been exposed to COVID or you've been proven positive, you're forced into quarantine. We just had an entire 9 months where members of the Democrat Party would not even come to work. They had to force them to vote by proxy because they didn't feel safe to even come to D.C. to do the work of the American people. And yet we get a tight Speaker vote. And in the middle of the night at 4 a.m., a plexiglass bubble is built in the gallery in the House so that a Democrat member who was had tested positive for COVID 6 days before can vote for Nancy Pelosi. This is where our priorities are. Taxpayers.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. So moving forward, we have this. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you're right. I mean, I know all of the issues that you campaigned on, and if it wasn't so silly and so out of whack in terms of what the priorities were, the issues that you fought to come to Washington for, I wouldn't cover it. But I think it's important that people understand what's at stake here. This is the difference between Republicans being in charge and Democrats. So, Congresswoman Van Duyne, amen, I say to you. I hope to have you back soon. Sorry we ran out of time, but we had to cover all of the silliness that Nancy Pelosi started the House with. I wish you the best, and look forward to seeing you back when we can talk about some substantive issues that are being worked on behalf of the American people.
And Sean, my brother, Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.